back to the channel. Today we're going to concentrate on the second G in gambling, grub, and getaways, the grub portion. And I'm sure you've seen in some of my previous videos that I've talked about really enjoying barbecuing. What's a beautiful Sunday here in northern Arizona. And so I'm going to demonstrate how I barbecue St. Louis style pork ribs. One of my favorites, one of the ones that I really enjoy doing. I've just been able to get all the plumbing turned back on in the outdoor kitchen. You know, northern Arizona, we freeze during the winter, so we're finally above freezing, so I've got it all set up. I'm going to show you what I use. As far as charcoal goes, basic Kingsford is fine. I just happened to get this at Costco because it was on sale. But it says professional barbecuers. Quite honestly, I don't notice the difference between this and regular Kingsford, but it was a really pretty good deal at Costco. And, you know, I'll talk about finding this when it's on sale because the price of charcoal has really gone up. We went to Home Depot this past weekend and it was almost $20 for two 16-pound bags. And I think I got these two 18-pound bags at Costco for $20. So that's a good deal. And then as far as the wood that I use either apple or cherry. You want to use kind of a fruit wood when you're barbecuing ribs. It adds a really good mild flavor to the ribs. It doesn't overpower it with that smoke taste. And just another tip, I got this big bag at Home Depot, stick with Kingsford or some of the major name brands. I got an off-brand one time of cherry or apple, really gave it an off taste, acrid taste, so stick with the mainstream wood types. And then as far as lighting the barbecue, I use these little wax cubes. A lot of people, when you're going to light like the chimneys here, they'll just stick a wad of paper in there, light it. I think that gets really messy. The embers start flying. One little charcoal lighter cube will do it to get the charcoal started. So I recommend just using one of those. And then as far as building the fire, I've got the chimney about 3/4 of the way full. And then around it, I create a ring of charcoal, and I've got about 4 apple wood chunks there. And this is what they call the minion method. What you'll do is you'll get this charcoal nice and hot, you'll pour it in the middle, and then that heat will slowly dissipate to the other charcoals, and it keeps kind of a low, steady temperature all the way through. You should be able to get 4 hours out of this, depending on how warm it is. Nice warm day here in Arizona, so I think we'll do fine. And this is the Weber Smoky Mountain that I've been using, going up 15 years now. And these things are built to last, so you only need one, and it lasts a long time. So we'll see you next time when I move over and we will start the rub process. Okay guys, we're going to start applying the rub, and you know, I used to make my own rubs. There's lots of recipes out there, but I've been lately experimenting with some of the ones that I've seen on YouTube and that are also on all the different barbecue channels. One of the ones I really like is it's from Our Butts Are Smokin' Ozark Heat. I found this on Smokin' Joe's barbecue channel. I really like it for ribs. And as far as the Ozark Heat, it's kind of a misnomer. I do not find it spicy at all. It's just got a really nice balanced barbecue flavor. It's really good on ribs. I think it goes really well. And then as far as applying it, I get these ribs at Costco. Really a great place to buy. They get them in a 3-pack. I'm going to show you what I do here in a second. But I trimmed them. You know, they come St. Louis style, but I trimmed them nice and square. I trimmed off a lot of the excess fat because, you know, the fat will make it a little more undesirable if you leave a lot of that fat on. But it does have nice marbling. You can see it's got a great color to it. And then on the back, I've already trimmed off the silver skin. I'm sure most of you guys know that there's a thin film on the back here. You pull that off. It's important so that the rub can penetrate into the meat. So let's go ahead and just do just a little bit of canola oil on here. It does not take much. It really just acts as a binder. You know, there's Do you even need it? Not necessarily. I find that having some kind of binder on the ribs is helpful as far as getting more evenness and less clumpiness, and doesn't tend to fall off. And then just generously apply it. We're going to do both sides, but the idea here is you don't need to overpower it, but you do want a nice good coating on here. I mean, you look at that, and when I pull this out, I'm going to let this sit for about an hour, and you just see the nice deep red barbecue color that you want when you're going to barbecue. So other side, and I think it is important to apply the rub on both sides so you get that barbecue flavor that you're looking for on both sides, on that bite. And don't forget the ends. You want to make sure you get the ends of the rib as well. Get a nice even coating on there. Okay. You know, one of the things I really like, Stacy got me this for Christmas a couple years ago. There are these Cuisinart trays, and they're color coded so that you can use I use the red one for raw meat. I've got a black one that I put the cooked meat on, and they're just really, they're a nice size, and they got a nice lip around them as far as protecting the meat. So I think that works really well. Store it way down here. Okay, so before I store these away, I want to share with you one other tip. As you know, Costco is, everything's in bulk. And since I'm not going to barbecue 3 racks of ribs, I'm only going to do 1. Really recommend you invest in the food saver that they sell. It's less than $100. It's a vacuum sealing, and you can put your unused ribs in here, vacuum seal it, idate it, stick it in the freezer. They're good for several months. And then you just pull it out, defrost it, you're ready to go. And such a great way to buy ribs of quality, and then you can save a little money. Obviously, Costco's got great quality, but everything's in bulk. But here's how you can buy it, store it, save it, and not waste a lot of food. So that's it for the first step, guys. When I get the fire going, I'll bring you back in, and we'll start this process. Okay, guys, we've got our fire built now. It's really going well. I'll show you what we've got here. I've got the kettle about 3/4 full of real hot coals, and I've kind of built a kind of a moat in the center of there. Here again, this will serve as kind of a, if you just add the hot coals to the middle, they will migrate their way around to the other coals, kind of give you a nice even heat. And then at this point, I'm going to add my wood chunks. Here again, this is apple. I think apple works really well with pork. Gives a really nice mild flavor. Let's talk a little bit about the Weber. You notice if you look in here, it's got a water bath in there. What that will do, it serves 2 purposes. It helps control the temperature, also keeps the meat moist. You know, I know a lot of people these days are using pellet smokers, and it's kind of a set it and forget it. I really enjoy the process of barbecuing and just dialing in the wood and the temperature. It's just something I enjoy, but I do recognize that pellet smokers are definitely a much quicker and much safer way to barbecue as far as getting consistency, but I do enjoy using the Weber Smoky Mountain. Okay, so I got that on, and as you notice, it's still putting out a lot of smoke, so what I'm going to do is we're going to watch this temperature, and when it gets up and it kind of settles in between 250, 275, then I think we're ready to put the meat on. But right now, as that wood first starts to go, it's putting out way too much smoke. It's going to overpower your meat, and you're going to have trouble regulating the temperature. So this starts really the first phase, and at this point I do want to show you how the ribs are looking. It's been about a little over half an hour, But look at the beautiful mahogany that rub gives to the ribs. It's really a nice color. It's going to develop a little bit more as we get going. But at this point, I'm going to sit back, and remember, the best part of a good barbecue is a good beer. So I'm going to enjoy this cold beer as I get the fire going, and I will check in with you when it's time to go to the next phase. So in about a couple hours, guys, I'm going to check in with the ribs after I get them on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add first of all, start with one of these spray bottles. You can pick these up at Dollar Tree or whatever. And I'm going to fill it about 1/4 of the way with apple juice and maybe a tablespoon or 2 of apple cider vinegar. And every 30 minutes or so, I'm going to spray the ribs, help keep them moist, see how that bark's developing. And then I'll have a better idea of when it's time to pull the ribs off and move on to the next phase, which is going to be foiling. So when it comes time to do that, I'll bring you back in and we'll go from there. Okay, it's been about 3 hours, and as you can see, I've got the ribs pulled off. Beautiful color. It's got a beautiful bark on it. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm getting to the point where I'm getting ready to foil, and I'll show you some of my key ingredients that I'm going to use. First of all, I got this Humex mango nectar. I was actually looking for Kern's peach nectar. They didn't have it, but I think this is going to be a good substitute. Parquet squeezed margarine. You're gonna find a lot of barbecuers, they like this. It's got a good texture, it's easy to apply, and really works out for ribs. Brown sugar is kind of a staple for foiling, and then I've got some organic raw honey here as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and foil it and apply the ingredients, and we will go from there. Okay, we're moving on to the final step where I'm going to make a barbecue sauce. And one of the best kept secrets, I think, in the barbecue world is most people start with the mainstream. I like Sweet Baby Ray's honey chipotle. I'm going to add a little bit of apple juice, a little bit of soy, some Louisiana hot sauce, has a real good flavor, and some cayenne. Okay guys, I just pulled the rack off the barbecue. Look how beautiful that turned out. Look at those colors. I didn't talk about the time. Its total is about 5 hours. I had them on for 3 hours. I foiled it with that prep work for about 1.5 hours. They went back on with the sauce for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna cut one of the ribs and share that. I just cut one of the ribs off. Look how nice that looks. Really pretty. I'm gonna give it a taste, see how we did. That is perfect. Just the right amount of smoke, perfect amount of heat and sweet. Once again, guys, if you have any questions, please put them down in the comments. Love to share with me what you think. Once again, really hope you're enjoying it. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you next time.